What's up guys, Josh from StrengthSide. This is a follow along bodyweight legs routine with some core exercises mixed in. Now, anytime that I'm training legs with just bodyweight, I'm trying to use the full capacity of my joints and I'm trying to increase range of motion throughout those ranges. So here we're starting with some knee circles. Usually when I do anything involving the legs, I like to start with knee circles just to start lubricating the ankles, the knees, and the hips and get that blood flowing. So circle the knees and just put a big priority on keeping the arches of your feet very active. And we start with the long stance split squat. Take a stance about double shoulder width. Keep your hips squared up. Do not let them turn or rotate out throughout this movement. Send your front knee forward, squatting into that forward leg, and then push back. You want to send your front knee forward as far as you can in order to really get into that front ankle. This can really actively increase that ankle range of motion. Keep your back knee off the ground. So try to keep your back knee as straight as possible. You'll feel a big stretch in the quads and the hip flexors of that back leg. Keep your torso tall, keep your head up, and keep some tension in your core as to not overextend the lower back. If you can keep a neutral spine here, you will be gaining a lot of active flexibility in the hips. Next is the dead bug. I'm a huge fan of dead bugs for improving coordination of lower body movements. Now lay on your back and you're going to be extending the opposite limbs down close to the ground. So the priority here is on keeping that lower back flat to the ground and keeping that rib cage to stay in the same position throughout the movement. Now I like to really think about reaching through my hand and my ankle here, getting the arm and the leg down as close to the ground as I can. And this is really going to improve the coordination of your spine and your hips. I used to do these much sloppier and I didn't get as good of results. So I urge you to take pride in your dead bug, be stiff in the core and really reach through the limbs to make nice lines. Next up is a very challenging movement, and that's the Cossack Squat. Take a wide stance, shift your weight into one side and squat down into that leg, keeping the opposite leg straight. Now, this is very demanding on the hips and the ankles. So to really get your full range of motion here, push the knee forward using all of your ankle range of motion capacity and try to keep your torso as upright as you can, which will really challenge the hips. Now, if you're having trouble with this movement, you can elevate the heel of the leg that you're squatting into. Another thing that you can do is put your hands down on the ground or on a table in front of you. some seated pike position leg lifts. Now, hip flexion is something that doesn't get trained a lot in conventional fitness, and you'll be surprised at how much better your hips will feel if you train them to flex a little bit more. So I'm down, I straighten out my leg, I point the toe, I keep the knee all the way locked out, and I lift the leg as high as I can with keeping my torso at about 90 degrees. I'm holding for about 4 to 5 seconds here. Now you're gonna feel the front of your thigh really light up. You'll feel your core very active. You might even get some cramping. That's all okay, and you just need to get stronger in this position. Into the single leg deadlift. These are tremendous for strengthening the hamstrings and the glutes. So keep one foot down, lift one foot, and then you're simply going to hinge forward at the hips, trying to keep a straight, neutral spine. So in this variation, I'm keeping my knee of the working leg a little bit straighter, actually very straight, and that's going to challenge that hamstring range of motion quite a bit. You can feel free to bend that knee more. The other thing I'm doing is I'm keeping the leg lifted close to my other leg. This is going to be more challenging. If you reach that leg back, that'll help counterbalance you a bit, and you may not be falling off balance like I am right here. I find very helpful to think about in the single leg deadlift. Number one, keeping the whole foot planted firmly into the ground, the big toe, the heel, the outside of the foot. Number two is keeping the integrity of the spine, so not rotating at all from side to side, and keeping good core tension along with enough extension in the spine to be very neutral. Next is squat to kneeling. This is a tremendous exercise for strengthening the feet and the knees and for balance and control. So start in a deep squat position. You're simply going to push hard onto the balls of your feet and then slowly lower the knees down to the ground. That was a terrible first rep. Usually my first one is pretty bad on these. Try to control these and take them as slow as you can. And when you get those knees down to the ground, your hip should be very extended and pushed forward. If you ever want to develop a sissy squat, this is a great place to start. This is a very challenging movement, and if you find that you're having a lot of trouble with it, you can simply just put your hand down on the ground to assist you throughout the movement. To end with a hollow body hold. So hop on your back. You're going to keep that lower back flat to the ground. You're going to reach your arms and your legs up. Then you're going to lower the arms and the legs down as close to the ground as you can get them without compromising that spine position. So I think I hold here for about 30 seconds. You can do as long as you can with keeping that hollow body position. Whatever time you come up with, try to increase that about 5 seconds a week. If you're using this as your full legs routine, I'd recommend repeating this about 2 to 3 times through. This can also be used as a warm-up or just for trying to increase some of that active mobility. Give this a go. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to StrengthSide, and I'll be coming with more of these follow-along routines for you guys.